Always gas it up. Welcome back, everybody. Mike here for ironinfidel.com. And we've got a spicy topic today because we're going to talk about why people love to shoot steel targets over paper, but we're going to talk about why one may be good in a certain circumstance or scenario over the other as well. And we're also going to dive into the sight confirmation and how much of it do you need and at what distance you need to slow down and get a little bit more sight confirmation. But me personally, I love steel. You get that immediate feedback, that trigger of dopamine in your head that you hit the target. The problem is you have, for the most part, no idea where you hit the target, especially if you haven't repainted your steel recently, and that can lead to a false sense of confidence out there. Dude, what are you doing? You're supposed to stop hitting the steel after I stop shooting.
I'm just the camera guy. You said to hit steel. That's what I'm doing.
Conversely, paper lets you know where your deficiencies are and can help you become a better and more proficient shooter out there on the range. But there are advantages to steel over paper. You get that hit, you're happy, you might train a little bit better. It never goes bad. You just repaint it, throw it back out there. Whereas paper or cardboard targets, you have to keep resupplying. It costs you money. So there are advantages, but you have to take all of these things into account when you're conducting your training out there. But we're going to do a couple of things today when we talk about sight confirmation and what some people think is a faux pas, which is instinctive shooting, because at certain distances, we can just draw a pistol and engage a target. And most instructors out there will teach some form of shooting from attention under a close attack where you shield up and you shoot a gun from here. However, when you step more than 3-4 feet away from the target, they now start talking about sight picture and all these things and say that you should never shoot instinctively or something like that. Well, why is it good right here from a foot away and not good from 4 or 5 feet away if I'm proficient? So I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just want you to keep these things in mind. So what we're going to do is start with steel, and we're just going to take a single shot and walk back until I can no longer instinctively shoot and hit that piece of steel, and I have to start aiming. And then we're going to do the same on paper, and we're going to see how the results open up. All right, so that's 1 second exactly on the clock. Take one big step back. 0.96 on the clock. Take 2 big steps this time. So we just passed 5. We're at the 7-yard line now. That's a 1.15. Let's go all the way to 10 yards now. That's a 108. So that's the 10-yard line. We're about 13, 14 yards. Let's just go 15 yards, see if we can get it done. There it is, low and right. So 15 yards is where it kind of ends for that ultra fast, almost instinctive shooting. That's where it is. Now we're gonna move to paper, right? And we're gonna have to start accounting for our accuracy, but we're gonna talk about that sight confirmation as well once we get back up there. All right, as you can see, there's several hits here because we've been shooting most of the morning, but do I know where any of my impacts were from this drill that I just conducted? Probably not. So unless you repaint this every time, you're not gonna have a clear picture. Conversely, when we get to this piece of paper right here, we're gonna see how things go. So we're just gonna start right here since it's paper. We're up close and personal, and remember, almost all gunfights happen inside of 10 yards, usually like 3 to 7 yards. So we're gonna start from here, walk out, and then we'll address our target and see where we start getting D-zone or maybe even off paper. All right, broke the line on the A-zone, trying to go for the head, but let's start walking back. So we are at, let's go to 5 yards right here. C-zone. Let's just hit 15 yards because this is very common in a lot of police qualifications. Can't see the hit on that one. Okay, so That one with 0 sight confirmation, trying to shoot instinctively from 15 yards, that fell apart at the same place. About 15 yards for me personally is where instinctive shooting just doesn't work. I have to have some form of sight confirmation. So we're gonna go back forward, and now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna get the level of sight confirmation we need to address that target for a zone at the distance we are currently at. It could be a flash sight signature, or it could be very good sight confirmation once we get back to a 15 or maybe even 25. That was a 0.8, by the way. E.
E.T. 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 E.T.
Yank that one a little bit. A zone. 15, so we are at 20 yards right now. A zone. 25. A zone. And we will walk back up and take a look at these so nobody knows I'm not cheating. We can check distance here. We're probably close to 30, 35 yards right now. We're gonna do one more from here. That's a pretty good clip. All right, let's go up there and take a look. All right, pretty obvious. We know exactly what we did. This is the one I called, said I shanked it. I showed that one low, but for the rest, walking all the way back to 35, 40 yards, it's all in the A zone. So your sight confirmation and your speed work in tandem. If you're super close, you can drill the target. Once you start to get back to 10, 15, 25 yards, you need to address the sight confirmation for the distance you are shooting at, unless you're like Jerry Michalik and you can just like hit a target from 300 yards. Steel doesn't tell you this. Steel doesn't tell you where you're hitting, what you're possibly doing. Do you have a sympathetic reflex, a flinch? Maybe you're yanking the gun to one side or the other. Paper will tell you this. Paper tells you how to get better. Paper doesn't lie to you like steel can, because we can do the same thing and go back to 25, 35, 50, or even 100 yards, which we'll try here in a little bit, hit a piece of steel, and we have no idea. Did we hit it in the head? Did we hit it over here? Did we hit it right down here? Did we hit it in the elbow, right? Because we're looking, we want in here. We want that box, right? That thoracic cavity, right? Or the dome is what we're really looking for on a target. All right, there is one time where it's okay to believe steel, and that's when you're shooting a pistol at like 94 yards. So we've got a plate of steel down there, and we're gonna take some long shots just to have some fun, because if you can hit a 18 by 18 plate of steel at 94 or 100 or even further away, you're doing pretty good in my book. So let's just have a little bit of fun and see what we need. We'll adjust our dot to make sure that it's not overly bright, covering the target. And let's see what we got. That's good. There we go. Want to try some one-handed?
$94 one-handed. I'm gonna believe it's steel on that one, and I'm gonna end on a good note.
Always end on a good note when it's a range training day.
All right, so think about that the next time you're out at the range, right? Sight confirmation, paper, accuracy versus that dopamine hit of steel. We all love steel. I had misses there at 94 yards, but then I had some hits, right? Your confidence goes way up when you get those hits. We've got a 140-ish yard target too, but I'm just not feeling that one today. Maybe for another video. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments. But take these things into account on your next training day or your next fun day at the range. Make it a competition with your buddies out there. You guys keep doing it out on the range. Remember to check out ironinfidel.com for the battle bottles and the fitness gear, because I need you to stay healthy and I need you guys to stay hydrated. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Ooh. Got it. He's down. No need for a follow-up shot.